FCA India is in the news with the launch of the upgraded Jeep Compass. Now, this is the first major facelift since it was launched in 2017. And talking to me about this and more, and about the products that are going to come henceforth, is Partha Datta, the President and Managing Director of FCA India. Partha, firstly, a happy new year. This is our first interview of the new year, so I'm sure you're going to make sure it's a good one. So we kick off 2021 on an exciting note. Having said that, a new year, I think 2020 behind us, and a lot of excitement from FCA in India. So let's kick off straight with the new product.
All right. So Hormazd, happy new year to you and to the viewers and to everyone who's watching. Let's do that. Let's make sure that we're kicking it off with a good interview. So first thing that I want to tell you, Hormazd, is FCA is going to bring in 4 new products in the next 2 years, including the new Jeep Compass that you talked about, which is slated to be launched in the first quarter. We will then also have 2-3 other products that are, I will say them in no particular order, Hormazd.
Right.
We have a 7-seater Jeep. We codename it the H6, so you get to know the code name as well.
H6.
The H6, yes, it is the H6. It is the first mid-size 3-row 7-passenger Jeep SUV. Okay, it will launch sometime next year. We will be locally assembling the Jeep Wrangler in Ranjangaon.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. And the next generation Grand Cherokee will also be assembled in Ranjangaon.
Wow.
So,
fantastic.
All of this, obviously shows the confidence and the commitment that the company has to the market. And clearly something that we're very excited about. 4 new products in less than 2 years.
Fantastic. So let's start with the product which is just been announced, and that's the facelifted Compass. Honestly, Partha, it comes at a time when there's intense competition in this segment. When you all came, you all had some good numbers, but there has been competition along the way. Also, from a price point, you all have been on the slightly more expensive side, also giving the whole 4x4 promise, which I'm not sure sometimes is a bit costly for what customers really want. I don't know whether they want all that 4x4 capability in a product like this. There are others who are giving more in terms of size, a little bit more features. So just 3 years since the Compass was launched. I mean, it was our car of the year, incredible product. But obviously, with time, there is a lot of competition. So with the facelift, what are your expectations, and how do you see this segment of the market you're operating in panning out for 2021?
Yeah. So lots of parts to that question. Firstly, yes, you're right. Market evolves. And, what was originally a white space when we had launched, clearly there's been, other new entrants that have come in, like Autocar had, made sure that several of your colleagues, yourself included, you've evaluated the product. Like you say, it's been an excellent entry into the market for Jeep. Very well loved. I mean, I get emails all the time, Hormazd. I get, letters, emails, awards, and accolades as well from the media as well as other peers. But what a fabulous product it is. Now to talk about the feature, Hormazd, this is the one part that I would always go out on a limb and say there is nothing about the Compass that is anything short of technologically competitive. It is an extremely competitive product. We have a very, very robust set of technology features, including several segment-leading ones. Specifically, on tractive effort pieces, tractive effort enhancement. There are several features, whether it's the brake lock differential, whether it's the hill start assist, whether it's the electronic roll mitigation, panic brake assist, electronic brake preset. It just goes on and on. There's so many. And all of these, frankly, are features that are value to the customer from a safety, capability, confidence standpoint, rather than, tell the windows to go down, right? I mean, frankly, Jeep has always been a purpose-built vehicle with a pedigree of strength, reliability, and quality. It affords you a lifestyle, and it's more about, what is technologically a feature that the customer will value, real hardware.
But, Partha, to be honest, I'm just coming straight to your point. Looking at the numbers, it might seem that the customers do want hello, whoever, and open the sunroof, put down the windows. That seems to be getting the numbers. So to be honest, while you're saying that you have really some genuine hardcore technology, but it's the connectivity features, it's really the gizmos, the slightly superficial stuff which probably appeals to buyers today in this age of instant gratification, where they just want something immediately. So do you think over there, you could be out of sync with what the buyer really wants, and you have to kind of align, have to cater to those characteristics, big screens, touch everything, that sort of stuff, SIM-based connectivity, etc., etc.
Fantastic question. I'm glad you asked. So the new Compass will have those features. It will have connectivity. It will have, all of the features that other people, like you say, might consider, as something that they want on their plate, right? They will have, in addition to these hardcore, solid, robust technology features from a capability standpoint, connectivity, a better user experience, and a user experience even better than today's Compass. More space and storage in the cabin. It's going to be an interior that we will show you in a couple of days, but will be the next level of premium, right? Uconnect next gen system with user connectivity. So all of that is in the new Compass.
So is this with the same ENE architecture, or is this a different ENE architecture, the electrical architecture?
The electrical architecture on the Uconnect is the next generation Uconnect system.
Okay.
When you say the next generation ENE architecture, the architecture is often used, Hormazd, as like a panacea term. It just all-encompassing basket term. So the Uconnect system is next gen. It's an upgraded system. It has a lot of Android built into it. It is modularized. It can be personalized. So there's a lot of other features that are in it. You will see it when the product is revealed, that it is the next generation Uconnect system.
And, just while we are talking on, electronic and electrical architecture, I mean, there is a sense one gets is that the next step is going to be ADAS in these kind of vehicles. Is this something the Compass is future proof for? And, that's the way forward, because clearly, that's really, I think, what's, especially from an active safety point of view, you talked about all the 4x4 capability, but I'm just saying more active safety features is what we believe in. And is that something the Compass is future proof for? So
Hormazd, to be 100% specific on this, from a product standpoint, the Compass is future proof for all of it.
Right. Okay.
In my opinion, all of the features that I just told you, brake lock differential, whether it's rainy brake support, electronic brake refill, all of those come when you have stability control in the car.
Right.
Right? Different systems talking to each other with the electronic stability control system. And the ADAS piece is future-proofed in the car.
Okay, great. Just sticking with this product, part of the other thing is clearly Compass, very capable vehicle. But, from a price point of view, it seems to be more expensive than, let's say, other competitors. Now, the vehicle is capable, but do you think sometimes you are, forcing the 4x4 tech in to people who aren't really going to use it? Let's be honest, how many of them really want to, climb Mount Everest with this car? In terms of two-wheel drive options where the price can come down, more features, what's the kind of, way forward on that, or what trend are you seeing, and how are you tweaking the product, let's say, offering in that respect?
Yeah, so Hormazd, used to be that on the sport variant, for instance, customers would ask for an automatic, right? They'll get one this time, right? So an automatic variant. Now, it is true that in India, 4x4 as a percentage of the mix is not as large as maybe in other parts of the world. However, I'd venture to say that 4x4 isn't just for climbing Mount Everest or doing rock screening. There is an element of capability even in everyday driving, to be able to live a lifestyle that the brand affords. That is part of our DNA. what would we be as a brand if we gave that away, right? So we want to make sure that that is something that we always offer. To your other point about the premiumness of the brand, yes, I mean, it is true that Jeep is on the premium side. It is something that our customers expect from that pedigree of what that brand is. Um, you use the word expensive. I think it's a great value for what it offers, right? And we have 50,000 Jeep customers out there telling us that it does. Exports that we send from here doubled in the last 12 months. So there are markets, there is a customer base that values the product for what it is. And Hormazd, look, I won't deny the fact that if would I be happy with a ton more volume? Of course, who wouldn't, right? But I stand and represent a segment and a capability that I don't want to not have in the product.
Right.
So we're not certain if we have options for our customers for front-wheel drive, for automatics, right? And we will continue to offer this.
You talked about volumes. So I just want to press you on that a bit. One would expect you to have at least 4-digit numbers a month, which a lot of competition is doing. Is that an aspiration? That's the next step. That's what you want. I mean, because clearly, I know a pandemic has hit some, but even helped some. We've seen some products in this segment really doubling or tripling their volumes and increasing their market share. Whereas, to be honest, the Compass hasn't. But obviously, there's a life cycle issue also. So do you think now with the upgrade, you've got, let's say, an ambition to at least get into 4 figures every month?
My ambition is to go beyond that, Hormazd.
Right.
And yes, I think that aspiration is absolutely written in stone, right? I think we want to go there and beyond. I do think that with the new product and the new competitiveness that it brings in from the standpoint of the features that you talked about, the connectivity, the user experience, and frankly, when you go sit in the interior, the really ultra premium ooze that you get out of it, it's all going to help drive all of it. By the way, Hormazd, the pandemic, yes, it did hit the entire market, but there's been a rebound and we're back to pre-COVID levels from a sales standpoint.
Right.
And frankly, climbing and slowly gaining, in momentum.
Right. And, the other point you talked about is, having 4x4 is a lifestyle. That's what the consumers want. So just to get a sense, it's quite interesting. A typical Compass customer, how much of it is utility? How much of it is lifestyle? What's the sense you get? Are these people really there to enjoy the great outdoors with this car? Or is it just the kind of imagery that they buy it for?
I think a big part of the customer base are dreamers.
Right.
Right. Not just the doers. Right. There are the doers and the dreamers, but that is part of the car buying aspiration, right? That if I do ever want to be that weekend warrior who gets away, I have a vehicle that I can trust and I'm confident in. So yes, you're right. A vast majority of the customers are probably dreamers, right? But that's what they want at the, to have a vehicle whose capability, and again, Hormazd, I'm not just talking about 4x4. It isn't something that I'm saying all of our customers go for the 4x4. They go in for the fact that that brand stands behind the best-in-class capability.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, I think, even for us, the worse the roads are, the more the Compass shines. I mean, it's fantastic on bad roads. But, and I'm sure a lot of customers also, how do I say, are buying it for the kind of toughness it offers. But, that apart, Partha, what are the learnings you've had in the 3 years? Because I'm being honest, I think domestic sales and volumes have been a little disappointing from where they were, way off your peak. And if you see the segment size, it's not that the whole segment is shrinking, frankly. It's just that your market share has sunk dramatically in this segment. So what are the learnings and, why do you think this has happened and what's the way forward?
So from a market standpoint, I think our market share is actually beginning to climb back up as we get out of the pandemic. There are several learnings that we took. For instance, the fact that you just talked about the glitz and glamour connectivity piece and the voice activated windows going down or whatever else piece, right? So those are all, our learnings that we take into the product. Taking into the product, more localization, right? content from local players, being able to give the customer who walks into the different variants what they want in a variant. For instance, the entry-level sport guy is looking to also have, you know, an automatic, right? So giving him that. These are some of the fine tuning in the product plan that we've been able to learn. Obviously, part of the learning is also the portfolio. Having that one product, you know, as not supported by a whole lot of others is another piece of the learning. Now, did we not know that before? Of course, we knew that before. India is an atypical market in the pace of product reveal and the product renewal, right? Other places, I think you take about 3 years and it's okay. In India, you got to do it, you know, a lot more frequently. That's another learning, not just a learning, Hormazd. And now what I'm trying to do is put all of this with a rapid response medium range plan that execute bang, bang, bang.
So what you're saying is life cycle management in short.
Yes.
So in India, you need tweaks, small tweaks, a little bit, just to keep the product refreshing, and that's where you have fallen a bit behind. So do you think going forward, that's really going to be the focus now, that you do things locally, so you're faster, cheaper to the market with small upgrades to keep the product fresh?
Yeah, so there's two parts to the strategy that I want to tell you about today. One, more product. We're going to be launching 4 products. Will be on the road locally in India, right? Local production, local assembly in India over the next 2 years, less than 2 years. Okay. In addition to that, we're going to be leveraging as much as possible to increase the localization content, taking into account whatever local capacity, local industrialization that we can, so that we can leverage making sure that our components are being brought, like you said, also for the product changes, making sure. So third leg of the stool is that well manicured product portfolio interventions as we move forward. I want to just correct one thing, Hormazd, that wasn't so much that we didn't know about it, but I think we are going to implement and hone this particular skill that we've picked up now a lot more regularly than we might have done in the past. It's a learning for sure.
Right. Okay. Just moving on now to the next product, which is quite exciting, is you've announced we knew about it, we've written about it, but you've now officially confirmed it. The 7-seat Compass. I don't know, will it be called a Compass? Is it a 3-row Jeep? What more can you share with us? What's the segment size for that? And clearly, will it be, I would imagine it'll be a stretch wheelbase, because it's impossible to package in a third row in the current dimension or the current envelope of the existing Compass.
Yeah, so Hormazd, this is not a Compass, right? It is a brand new 7-seater.
Okay. It's going to have a new brand.
3-row. Sorry, Hormazd, say again.
It's going to be called, it'll be a new brand. It won't be
a new nameplate. It'll
right.
be a brand new nameplate in the Jeep stable, the first 3-row Jeep midsize 7-seater SUV.
Right.
Okay? It's codenamed, I'm telling you, the code name for us here is H6.
Right.
Okay. And it is longer, wider, taller than the Compass.
More powerful.
We're gonna do everything we can to make sure that we provide the customers with all the power they need. Right. I can't tell you that it is more or less or just as powerful, but more details on this I will provide as we get closer to launch. I don't want to give any of those surprises away yet.
Okay, fine. So an all new nameplate, look different. It's like just a complete.
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. That is something to look forward to. But again, coming to the market for 3 rows, do you think there's a good market for that? Obviously, not as much as the sweet spot the Compass is in right now. But what's your expectation of that? And I'm sure from a company point of view, it's a juicier product to have in terms of margin and stuff like that. So I'm sure it's a very important part of the portfolio as well. And I keep asking a lot of questions in one question. The other one is exports with that as well.
Say the last part again.
Exports. Will you be exporting that product as well?
Yeah. So let me take the 2-part question. Firstly, I don't know about juicier. That's an interesting term you've used, Hormazd, but I want to tell you that it is a very important part of the portfolio. Yes. There will be exports. And ask me the first part of your question again, because it was a long one.
No, I'm saying what's the segment size?
Yeah, the segment in itself, actually the segment in itself is a bigger and growing a little bit faster than even the C segment, right? So it is something that I would call closer to the D segment. And right. It is something that I expect to have, and you asked me, isn't that less, what do you call it, less of a market segment? You can see all of the competition that's coming in, you know, from all of the other OEMs. Everyone's trying to offer that, right, in the D segment space. And there are already existing players. We think we have a very good value proposition that the customers will really, really like. And, you know, that's a part of the segment that I think the offering will be very, very attractive.
Right. And that's, you said, coming sometime in 2022.
Yes.
Okay. Moving to your other products, which are obviously much lower volume. They'll be CKD, Wrangler, and Grand Cherokee. Wrangler, again, a lifestyle vehicle. I'm sure niche volumes still, but what's the rationale? Do you think you have enough volume to justify localization of the Wrangler? Or is it a chicken and egg thing? Do you think that once you localize it, you'll get the volumes? Because obviously the price will come down.
So Hormazd, again, multi-pronged question. I love it. Firstly, it's a local assembly product, right? We're not kidding it in. We'll be sharing more details as I get closer to launch, right? I'm not making any announcements on the pricing as yet. I understand the assumptions and the presumptions that, you know, the rest of the market is going to be making. Will it be a super high volume product like the rest? You know, remains to be seen. I think that this is an iconic product. Every place I've ever been to in India has been asking me about, you know, the Grand Cherokee being locally assembled, the Wrangler being locally assembled, and we're doing that now. You're going to see this in the road in less than 2 years.
Right. And, you know, just diesel, petrol with, products in this segment. I mean, what's your sense? How's the market going? And, you know, what are you reading from the market? Obviously, you've got a very strong diesel capability, you know, with your engine, which you even, let's say, supply to other OEMs. How do you see this panning out?
So, Hormazd, I think it is true that after the Bharat Stage 6, you know, emissions norm came out, the small displacement entry-level segment diesels did get kind of expensive. And you could see that the change in mix, right? Most people began to move away from the diesel towards the petrol. That's probably going to continue. And as far as the higher segments are concerned, more premium offerings are concerned, I believe that customers are still going to want the power and performance that we get out of a diesel in those segments, right? We're going to see the diesel engines stay in those segments, and we will continue to offer, you know, both gasoline and diesel, you know, on our products in our range.
Right. So, you know, you've talked about 4 products, but I want to press you on one more, which is, again, let's say an important part of any OEM's portfolio, and that's below the compass, you know, specifically maybe even a sub 4 meter.
Yep.
That space, I mean, I think you'll have been considering, any OEM would be considering, but, you know, getting the right engine, getting the right product, getting the right volume, the scale, even a partnership. Is there a segment that appeals to you, but it's a bit challenging just given the, let's say, hurdles to get in there?
So, Hormazd, I'll go out on a limb and say this to you. I am laser focused on getting this product to the Indian market.
The sub 4 meter?
The sub 4 meter Jeep.
Right. Okay?
This is being actively developed, and it is part of the roadmap for the product onslaught that I have. Okay. I'm not announcing a launch date and specific investment today, but it will be part of an announcement in the near future. Okay. Now, the product architecture and feature content are being fine-tuned because of recent developments, and I'll share more details when the time is right.
Okay. So it would be fair to assume, you talked about recent developments, that it's very difficult to get scale with that, because sub 4 meter is not a global product, and getting scale within India is difficult. So it makes sense to perhaps share that architecture to get the scale and economies and cost structure in place? I'm just saying assumption.
So Hormazd, I've never been able to stop you from making assumptions, and I'm not going to start now. So I can neither I can't comment or on further than what I've already said on this.
Okay, but what you have said that after the recent developments, the sub 4 meter is back on the table.
It has never been off the table, and I am laser focused to get that into the Indian market.
Right. Just on powertrain, just to understand, with the 2 liter, which you have a 1.6 as part of the same family, it is then hypothetically possible to do a 1.5 diesel if you have enough scale in the current engine plant as well. So, just to understand on the powertrain, 1 diesel, 1 petrol right now. I mean, is there scope for more? Is the plant future proof to produce different, let's say, cubic capacities and displacements from the same family?
Yeah, but the plant is absolutely future-proofed for it. I mean, 300,000 powertrains possible, a line that used to produce the 1.3, now producing also the 2 liter. So the plant is absolutely future-proof. That I'd like to answer that question first. To ask you about your other question, are you saying from a Fiat sort of a powertrain business, or are you talking more about the products that the propulsion system will power?
No, I think from a powertrain business, because, having a 1.5, obviously you could have other customers as well. That's been part of your business. I think I would say hypothetically, it could have happened if you had other OEMs wanting that engine, but then everyone wanted to do their own engine. So just with your scale, it would have been a bit difficult to develop a smaller capacity engine. So that's what I was getting at here, just from a...
Yeah, so right now, there are discussions about the propulsion system, obviously with, announcements that are, concerned. I'm not here to make any announcements, but I will tell you that the focus today, as of now, is on the 2 liter.
Right.
There are peripheral talks on other displacements on the diesel piece specifically, but I'm not here to make any announcements on that.
Okay. And lastly, Fiat brand. People are missing it already. Any long-term plans for that, or even as a small niche volume stuff, or is it just the focus is now on Jeep and anything else would be a distraction in the short term at least?
So the focus for the short term is on Jeep, and anything else is going to be a distraction. That doesn't mean that the brand, the Fiat brand, I keep saying this over and over, I want to be categorical. We are not exiting the Fiat brand for the market, okay? We have a responsibility, and I have a personal inkling as well for a brand that has had such a long association with India. So the Fiat brand stays under the portfolio in India, under our brand portfolio. Right now, everybody in the marketplace wants an SUV. That's the fastest growing body style. That's the fastest growing set of segments. So that's what we're focusing on in the medium term.
No, I don't understand. You're saying the Fiat brand stays, but you don't sell any Fiats right now. So what?
I have a responsibility to my customers from an after sales Mopar standpoint that I will continue to fulfill for the next decade. We are constantly studying opportunities that we can bring in other products for. And one of the brands that is under consideration for that roadmap is Fiat.
Right. Any other brands from the group? I mean, be looking at, or is it again not part of the short-term plan? Always
not part of the short-term plan, Hormazd. I am focused on Jeep, and Fiat continues to be in my portfolio as we study. If there's products that one of these 2 brands bring in, we will. Fiat, Jeep rather, is my focus.
Right. And last question, Partha, you've got you've got a strong roadmap for future products, and obviously the network that has to support it. Clearly, is that going to be a focus in the interim? In the short term as well, to really boost the network further?
So when you say boost the network, I think from a network standpoint, say again, sorry, Hormazd.
What I meant is additional dealerships, additional service facilities, because again, you've got really some heavyweights like the Koreans, some local players, which have a broader spread. And the Jeep, to be honest, in comparison, is more thinly spread compared to some of your competition.
Yeah, I think we are right-sized is what I would say. right? Rather than thinly spread. I would say that we're right sized, and we will, I agree with you that we will grow our network proportionally as the products come online, for sure. I think one of the things that I want to make sure I communicate is my responsibility is to make sure that my dealer partners are profitable with healthy throughputs.
Right.
And to have a dealership network that is right sized is paramount. Return on sales, for instance, for our own dealer network now, between Q2 and Q3 grew 9 times. So it is my goal to make sure that I support my partners in that endeavor. We've done several things during the pandemic to make sure that we defray their fixed costs, help the dealer principals along, and make sure we're from a sales and after sales standpoint. I mean, Hormazd, this is a brand new FCA after sales piece. Mopar, the brand has launched, right? We've launched the after sales global brand. We've instituted several express service programs in major cities. Our new PDC in Chakan is 1 lakh square feet, right? Which has a fill rate of 99%.
99%.
99% fill rate, right? And fix it in first visit for the dealer as an after sales KPI is 94%. Retention for Jeep customers is 95%. So what used to be, and what was the big, oftentimes heard complaint about the old after sales, they're all gone, right? We have service driven programs. We've increased training programs. We've established regional training centers. We have 1 in Chennai, 1 in Pune, and 1 in Chandigarh now.
Fantastic.
Right? We have better benefits on roadside assistance, better extended warranty programs, more technical support for the dealer. So from an after sales standpoint, taking care of the customers has been completely revamped. It's a completely new user experience.
Well, Partha, on that note, want to wish you all the best. I think 2021, clearly you've kicked off with announcing Jeep's offensive. Great to see that. I think a long time coming, and really good to know that even there's a sub 4 meter in the mix, because that means you guys mean business getting into the high volume segments as well. And obviously with the 7-seater, so really a pretty robust product plan. Wish you all the best. And again, wish you a happy new year. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you, brother. Thanks. Happy New Year to you as well.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.